Just stay tuned. We'll get started in about 30 seconds. Thank you all for tuning in. This is again your boy, Social Mother effing Happy with Hunting Day Trades. As you know, as always, this stream, this presentation, whatever you want to call it, is brought to you by my team at Elevate Trading. And with that, let us begin. I need to figure out a way to have that automatically adjust to this. Figure out that. Okay. So, welcome everybody. As I said, if you're not accustomed to what we talk about, what we do during these intro week and I guess midweek streams, then I'll just explain to you really quickly. We don't try to do any super high time Elliott wave or anything like that. We don't try to do anything above probably an hour time frame. Maybe sometimes we'll touch a 5-hour time frame, but usually we try to stick within the 1 hour time frame. And what we're basically looking for is intraday and days trade setups. Earlier today, my group, I threw out this idea that we're going to pop up here. I'm looking for a short in this area here. Hold on, my notes kind of freaking clogged right now. It's kind of bothering me. Oh yeah, chat box. Chat box. Hold on, let me open the chat box. Sorry, excuse me. Chat box. Okay, chat box is open. No one's in there yet. It's very rare when we don't have any commenting. Hold on, I'm gonna mute y'all so I can blow my nose. Okay. Woo. Okay. Breathe again. So I threw out an idea that we're going to pop up today in Elevate Trading. But it was going to end up being a short opportunity. Let me throw up. So this is the idea I threw out today, or whatever you want to call it. Right. And the reason why I have that bias is, well, one, Elliott Wave kind of says that, but my idea prior to this was that we're actually going to move up until there's one thing that I use very, very heavily in my trading, my day trading bias is the thing I call NYCOB kill zone. And today it opened up bearish. So since it opened up bearish, I had to trust that more than anything else. Usually that is going to tell you, in terms of, not guessing, but assuming and predicting where the market will go during that day, this is by far the most accurate in terms of predictive type of thing. And so I opened up bearish today. You can see here's the kill zone. Open up bearish, close out of it. The idea is that if we retrace into it and form a sell pattern and or have some hidden divergences, which we do have, it's a logical sell setup, which it is. We open up bearish, we close below, we're coming back into it for a retest. So the idea is that we're going to short this. And it matches, Elliott Wave makes sense too on a higher degree. This is like a wedging pattern. Normally these fail in crypto, but I think this one's going to work for a little bit, but then end up failing. I'm not going to dive into exact count, but again, you saw it on the other chart. We're going to come down here, get everybody super bearish, like, oh shit, head and shoulders. And then it's going to just truncate, not break that low, and it's going to go even higher. That's the idea. But for now, I think This makes sense here. And also the dollar is just really bullish right now for some reason. We might touch on that. Probably not though. So I think this is like a weird, just like diagonal that formed here, or initial impulse to the downside. And again, our bias was set by NYCOB, and also our lower time indicators are topped out, and the likelihood of this just continuing up with these bearish aspects is not likely. And I'd rather shoot with the odds, you know, and that's the whole aspect of TA. You're trying to compile odds against whatever favor you're assuming when you open up a chart. You never should assume. You always should let the charts display what they're telling you. And for me, they're telling me it's bearish. For one, open up bearish in NYCOB. It was confirmed right here. Coming up into retest. It's coming up with OTE. OTE is confirmed with this hidden divergence here. Makes sense in a high degree when it turns to Elliott wave. So this makes sense. We rejected a D1 high of yesterday. Failed to regain it today. You know, rejecting it again. The D1 open today is going to probably be higher than yesterday's. Today's close is probably going to be up here somewhere unless something drastic happens in the next 20 minutes. So I think it's going to close higher. Probably rinse down, clear those stops out, and then by that time, I'm not too positive. I'm in a small long on Litecoin. I got back in a long just because I liked what I saw. Charts are all fucking. But I'm gonna close it here because again I think this is everything's gonna roll over. NYCOB is bearish. M13 is topped out. Now all we're waiting for is a divergence to form right here to confirm it. So if we can make another high, I think that'll confirm that divergence, and that'll make it so we can enter with confidence. A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe 5 here. One could argue that's 1, 2, and then further, but we'll see. Again, my reasoning, I told you my reasoning why we're bearish today. This lower time frame stuff will confirm it. This is ETH though. This is Bitcoin. This. Let's go to ETH real quick. ETH is very interesting. I'm not in a trade on ETH besides spot long. Initially, I thought it was going to be a 1-2 here like this. But then we started doing all this stuff. And I'm still with the idea that if we trade below here, I'm really going to invalidate this idea. There could be a possibility that this is actually this, which looks very likely on ETH. I wish I would have saw this on ETH a little bit sooner. Because Litecoin's not really doing anything. Litecoin's going to stay right there like this, making it a little flat. This is the move I thought Litecoin was going to do. But ETH ended up doing that, unfortunately. But watch for this to form. At first I thought it was this little thing here. This is a buy. It's going to come up like this. That's why I'm holding my spot positions for now until this level is violated. I'm not in any margin positions on ETH here. My only margin position I'm going to end up taking besides this long, I'm still holding on Litecoin, but I'm thinking about closing, is that short on Bitcoin. Might be a little risky due to the fact that we just hit an all-time high, all this stuff like this. Wedges tend to break upwards in cryptocurrency, but NYCOB is bearish, so I have to listen to that. That's the way. That's just how it is. Something this is gonna move up here. Very unfortunate I didn't see that. This is probably something up in here. I wouldn't expect this to end really until this has the same idea though. Topped out indicators. The hourly is fully reset. Look at all this. Those wicks are pretty brutal. If you're an hourly trader, that's what you want to see for a trade setup. Like see all those wicks and enter on like that trade right there, that candle. But for now, I'm thinking this is not gonna. As long as this rejects this area, I'm thinking this is going to roll over with Bitcoin. I'm not going to trade this with margin because I'm not too clear on what Ethereum could do. Yes, it follows what Bitcoin's going to do, and you could usually, you know, trade one with the other, vice versa. But so so yeah, watch for a rejection up in here on Ethereum today. If you see some wicks and stuff up in here, I'd expect that this is some weird pattern here, but for now I'm not. I'm just holding a spot position on this coin. My primary idea was that this was this, and that's why I'm holding this spot position, because I want to capture this. But as a margin position, it's kind of hard to determine where I'll enter at this point. The entry should have been there, but I didn't see it. And again, NYCOB was bearish. These are topped out indicators. It doesn't make sense for me to enter here or anyone else. In my opinion, doesn't make sense. Retexting the D1 open and stuff like that. So just be mindful of all that stuff. Looking for a short setup on Bitcoin. Ethereum's kind of not really understanding where it's going, but the setup should be bearish based on NYCOB and indicators here. But we don't have the divergence that we see on Bitcoin. So this didn't do what I thought it was going to do. This move up, I thought we were going to, you know, retrace, consolidate down to this level and move up. That didn't happen. Let's draw some quick levels real quick. Unless this was a truncation, which is very rare. It's hard to say that we don't get a similar move at some point on this side. Now it's just timing it. To me, this has a really good chance of being a WXY like this. In which I'll be a buyer here. Didn't top out, topped out, got that divergence, that was the trade there. Bottomed out, didn't bottom out, there's the divergence, that was the trade there. Topped out, but we're not topped out yet. So for Link, it's a possible to trace it up to the low side as well in Link. But it has to have that divergence. So if this breaks that high here, and this ends up staying at divergence, which is slim, or if that stays has a divergence, what I'll do for a trade on Link, I would not enter this because that's risky. Because look at this, like kind of like a weird head and shoulder going on there. It's kind of risky there. So what I would wait for is this trend line break. If that trend line breaks there, I'll enter that short stop there. Target like this area. But that's just based on this idea that this structure is not done correcting, and this looks like it's more topped out in the lower time frames and not. But I'm with the idea that Link will make another high eventually. I just don't. This is timing it. What else do we talk about? Litecoin. I'm sorry if I'm going or not. What up, Eugene? So my idea of Litecoin was this. That's why I got in on this Litecoin trade, but Litecoin just didn't do what I thought I was going to do. I thought I was going to make this A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, and then here's C wave. But technically, I shouldn't close this trade technically until this low right here is broken, or at least 70% of this current move is retraced. That would make it so this. I know for a fact this is wrong. But just the way we're reacting, very lackadaisical, makes me very weary of this position, this idea. So if we get below here, I'll be out of this long position on Litecoin. Okay. I bought this area right here. If it gets below here, that'll make it so this possible one away, you know, it could be a possibility, like this would be a flat here, but be less likely. This is our initial idea, but it just doesn't look as likely anymore. And NYCOB was bearish, and that always trumps my Elliott wave. That NYCOB stuff is always more important. Low time frames on Litecoin are also very topped out. So if we get this extra high, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's a short setup, right? And it comes in the hour time frame. The time frame we look for is short. A, B, C. This could be A, or W, X, Y, A, B, C. I could see some funky stuff happening on Litecoin. I'm with the idea no matter what, where this is a 1. And we're in a weird corrective phase on Litecoin until this is done. And we have up until this to correct. I know it's a little bit of a higher time frame idea, but just so you guys know my basic idea on Litecoin. Looking for a high point to be made in this time frame, which looks like it's going to happen, along with a divergence or overextension to happen, which it looks like it's going to happen. Right? So the setup's here. Structurally, it's pretty much there. You're banking on this thing of resistance holding for another time. It was one support, try to activate it, came, flipped it. Will we reject that one more time? I think it will. So be mindful of everything. That's essentially yes, though. We talk about low time frame setups, trades, and stuff like that. We don't try to predict what's going to happen. We just see the setup, see the trade, find a level of confluence based on resistance and support and order blocks, and see if we can enter on it. All right, so if you have any last minute questions or concerns, this is your time to ask them. I will cover one other pair of someone's liking. Preferably based on trade against USD or USDT. Give you a moment. So if there's not going to be any more or no requests for a pair to be covered, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. But you guys know my thesis. NYCOB is bearish. Indicators on lower time frames seem bearish. Mid to higher time frames, I'm intermediately bearish on it as well. But higher time frame, I'm still bullish with the idea that we'll eventually make more highs on all the coins. Like you see, this have a 1 here, so we know that we have 3 and a 5 left. If this idea is true, and you see my Bitcoin chart over here, depicting that this is a 3. This is ending at 3, and this is gonna be a 4 when it's said and done. Oops. It's a 3 with a smaller degree. Shit. Yeah, I'm thinking also have a good time to play if this is the idea, though. Yeah, y'all. Thinking Bitcoin's going to be rangy and kind of hard to trade for. I think it's going to range between like 43. I think 40,000 is now the new low range. Basing, I guess we would call it. This 42,000 area. I do think it's going to take similar time as this move here. Which brings us to a low point at here. So this might be quicker than I anticipate. All right. Invalid over that level. We know where stops are. This is the only trade I'm really interested in because it just makes it's cleanest on a structural basis. Elliott Wave seems the cleanest on it too. The NYCOB aspect concept is based on Bitcoin. I know exactly where I'm wrong. R to R is better on this because you're closer to the top point than the rest of the coins. But Link interests me on a short, and I think Litecoin interests me on a short. Ethereum did not interest me in a trade because it's kind of in the middle, in an area where I don't really know where I'll place my stop. The other ones are interesting though, so I mapped those out, kind of showed you what I was looking for. Fill USDT. That will be the coin I cover, and then I'll be out of here, okay? What a that's right off the bat. Tell you right off the bat. I am a wave trader, so I'm with the interpretation that is that. It's like never charted before, so I'm gonna do something. Okay, I'm just gonna disregard this. There. Okay, I'm with this idea here. For some reason, I'm with this. Okay. In terms of time, I know this is 3 waves. It's fine. It's okay. Glenn says it's fine, so it's fine. It's only it could happen on wave ones in very, very new and emerging markets, which this is one of them. There's not a lot of participants in this, so things break. You anticipate a low, at least in here. Structurally, this looks good, but I'm saying as long as we hold this level, I'm bullish with this coin, whatever the hell it is. Oh, that was weird. Structurally, this is enough to say we move up. But I'm going to say it's not going to do that. It's going to be a B, and a C. It's going to probably like double, triple top type thing, and then it's going to come down, and that'll be your buy. But to me, I think this is still, if that trend line breaks, I'm very interested in a buy on this, just because that seems like a good opportunity. We don't want to be buying here because we're too topped out in our lower time frame indicators to be entering here. This looks like a 5-wave impulse. So if we are to retrace and hold this level like this level right here, if we hold that level and retrace and you're able to like kind of reset these, that's a buy. You're buying that, stop there, and you're targeting at least that high. And your R there, that's a good setup right there. But this has to reset while holding this level. If that doesn't happen, if this comes down and price breaks that level, then you have to wait for it to find a new basing. I'm down here. But alright, that is it. Muhammad got the lucky coin to be covered. So again, thank you all for tuning in. I know this was quick and fast, but this is actually cool a little bit. We're not trying to make an assumption based on what we think. We're making an assumption based on what our indicators are telling us. we don't have any real indication of or dictation of what is gonna what our idea is gonna be. It's what our indicators tell us what it's gonna be. If our indicators are topped out, bottomed out, well, it's most likely it's gonna be bearish or bullish, whatever in retrospect of whatever it is, you know. So, again, thank you all for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. It's been your boy, Satoshi Mother Evan Heavy, with stalking, hunting, whatever you want to call it, day trades. I might need to find another name for it. I don't know. If anyone could come up with a name with it, I could probably give you like a little prize or something, access to indicators, elevate trading, like $20 or something like that, $50. I don't know. We'll see. But all right, guys and girls. You can catch me, your boy, this Thursday. As always, we'll kick it off the same time. Again, we're going to start doing these intraday, day trading, live trades during the close of New York, because that's the best time to find an entry. Specifically the last hour and a half. In terms of developing the order block of that time frame, you might say 30 minutes prior, but in terms of picking a trade and entering a trade in terms of time, the last 30 minutes is very prime for this. So yeah, I'm gonna start doing it and running them all on this time. The weekends will stay the same because we're trying to analyze the broader weekly trend with Elliott Wave. We're trying to find a general bias for the week. If our general bias that we're an impulse, and we're gonna be looking for to have our longs be buying on dips and adding on dips, and having our scalps being having our shorts being really quick scalps. So again, thank you all for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. Catch y'all next time. Peace the fuck out.